as an economy here in Canada, like we should be feeling pain right now in order to get through this. And I think right now we're just dragging it out.
Right.
Totally. No one would have said too, the day before, I think it was, my birthday is March 13th. And I remember the announcement, I believe it was March 13th when, when they talked about everything closing down.
12th.
And
March 12th.
Or March 12th. There you go. Right
Yeah,
before my birthday. I remember that. And, when you think about that, the day before, right? The day before, let's say, 3 months before when, COVID was just a thing in the news that nobody really knew about.
Yeah,
if you would have asked someone, are we overspending as a government in Canada, the US, other countries in the world, everyone would have said, oh my gosh, we are so in debt. This is crazy. And then the next few years happened. So we are in such a terrible position coming out of that experience. And really what probably should happen, I don't want this to happen. Don't get me wrong. Don't, hear me thinking that I want bad things for anyone. But I think what
be prepared
probably
to defend
is
yourself in the comments.
Yeah, what's supposed to happen is, we should, as an economy here in Canada, like we should be feeling pain right now in order to get through this. And I think right now we're just dragging it out. And I think there's people in government that are trying to not have that happen. But I don't think there's an actual clear end goal in sight. And
it can't be fixed.
That's very scary.
It's a systemic problem. Like the whole thing is very big.
We were just talking about it right before you joined us, Kyle, is about clients right now who made bad decisions and that they need to cut their losses because they're, paying interest and they're, delaying the inevitable. And a lot of the times they make it worse. And the government's the same, but it just feels like they're really leaning on the sort of more socially acceptable decisions in order to be able to please people and that they want to take care of people. And so it's really insensitive because you can't say, well, we should just let everybody fill in the blank, right?
Totally.
Because now you're a jerk and that, you're not sensitive to their needs. And then everyone raises their hand. Well, what about us? Well, what about us? What about us? So we're just in this predicament where there is no solution. Like the real solution, nobody's going to agree to, nobody's going to vote for, and there's going to be riots. And so it's now, again, Mr. Positivity here is you need to figure out the rules of the game. You need to understand what there is, what your options are. Maybe you can't live in the house that you want to live in. Maybe you can't invest in Ontario. Maybe you can't go on vacations as many times as you want, but you need to find a way to be able to go through the next, probably the rest of this decade. That's the reality. This is going to be years before we recover. And I don't see any solution that anybody's proposing that is going to be a quick fix anytime soon.
Well, and I would say if the government is going to, this is the unknown, is how long is this going to go on where, the saving takes place. And the longer that goes on, the longer this drags out, because like you were saying, if someone's upside down, there's many people who are upside down, right? There's that FOMO that people, first-time home buyers, we're all feeling like, oh my gosh, if I don't get in now, I will never own a home for the rest of my life, right? So people were buying homes, overpaying, all of these things, which again, if you can afford it and you're okay to hang on and it's your primary residence and you're going to hold it for, 10 plus years, you're going to be just fine as long as you can afford it. But if you couldn't afford it when you got in, that's a really tough thing. And as these mortgages continue to come up and with the uncertainty, right? So if rates are higher, people are nervous about that. More people might start to make the decisions, which is ultimately what's supposed to happen, which is to start selling. And as we see more properties come on, and as more people start to panic, the opposite happens, right? We were bidding up houses a few years ago, and now maybe we'll see that deflationary period. Maybe it will be the housing market, right? So the reality is as you mentioned, I think thinking to yourself, am I okay? Can I sustain what I've got going on right now over the next few years? And if not, what's my game plan, right? Because you certainly don't want to be the last guy out of the door.
Like, comment, and subscribe if you got anything from one of these clips. And if you want to see some more, press something on the screen here. Boom.
That was good.
That was good. I like that. That was good.